Hey, in America, oil is more important than water. We all know that. I'm here with Hank Thompson, Ron Placone, Steph Zamorano. You know what's going on in North Dakota, right? So there's a bunch of Wall Street banks financing some oil companies that want to build a pipeline that's going to pollute the water, the Missouri River, which is where the natives get all their water from. By the way, it's the longest river in America. So they're going to pollute it. And by the way, they're going over Native American lands that is rightfully theirs by a treaty. So it doesn't look good, right? So if you're a white guy and you have guns and you take over some federal land, nothing happens to you. Nothing. In fact, they even send your mail to you. But if you are actually standing up against it, by the way, these cops, they're not out there at the behest of their citizens. These cops are out there at the behest of the donors to Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Wall Street and the fossil fuel companies. That's why they're there. The people don't want them there. In fact, there was some sheriff from Wisconsin sent his people there, his cops there, and the people from the town said, fuck you, bring those people back. We don't want our cops going cracking the heads of peaceful protesters in another state at the behest of corporations. So
you know what? This image is troubling. I just want to say that how troubling this is. You see all these men, police force in uniforms. Do you see what they're armed with? Do you see these long bats that they have in their hands? That they're ready to brutalize somebody? And they're peaceful protesters. Mace. And if America allows this to continue, you're next.
Look how afraid he is of him. He's like, don't hurt me. These cops are huge pussies, just so you know, in case you're not sure. That's, guys who are actual tough guys don't become cops. Guys who want to feel like tough guys become cops. I can only be a tough guy with a bunch of other guys around me and immunity from prosecution, and I need a gun.
And it takes one of these cops to cross the line and stand with these Native Americans.
None of them will. None of these cops will cross the line and stand with the Native Americans because that would take courage. Actual courage. Cops do not have actual courage. We just need to wipe our minds clean of what cops are. Cops are hired thugs. That's what they are. They're not people who, do you think these guys joined because they're out there trying to make their community better? They're out in the middle of nowhere beating the fuck out of people at the behest of corporations. That's what those guys are doing. No respect to them. They're the lowest of the low. According to Think Progress, on Thursday, 141 people were arrested after armed law enforcement from at least 6 different frickin' states used sirens, pepper spray, and beanbag shots to declare a protest camp on private land.
Yeah, but they can go and destroy their burial ground, which I'm sure is private land.
On private land. On private land. The cops just, we're just going to come in and beat the F out of you. On private land where the Dakota Access, a developing company, is building the 1,172-mile pipeline. The North Dakota National Guard and the company's private security were also involved. Oh, so they bring out some not even cops, just assholes.
Yeah, that's a scary company's private security.
Company's private security. So they just get
that a couple times.
They just get to hire thugs. Goes on. Injuries were reported on both sides.
Oh, brother.
On both sides.
You mean the guys who are wearing uniforms and bulletproof vests?
On both sides.
Would they twist an ankle?
At both sides. While activists said several protesters suffered broken bones. All of the protesters have been bailed out thanks to an anonymous donor who paid $2.5 million, Ron.
Wow.
That's $2.5 million for their release late Saturday. News.
That's super scary because that will incentivize more arrests.
Yes.
Because that money just gets fed into the
now they got $2 million to go hire more cops.
Right. That's weird. I mean, obviously it's a good thing, and
You're implying our justice system is corrupted by money? I mean, I never
could imagine that.
No. I mean, yeah.
Authorities allege I love how authorities Hired liars allege protesters threw Molotov cocktails, set blockades on fire, and claimed one activist shot at deputies as she was being arrested. Authorities. When you say authorities, what you're saying is people who are screwing over their own citizens at the behest of corporations. Those are authorities. So I won't say authorities. So criminals who are screwing over their own population at the behest of corporations allege that protesters threw Molotov cocktails. And I'm going to say that those authorities are fucking liars. And probably horrible people.
And most likely they infiltrated the protesters and created
this. Of course they did. That's the first thing cops do is they send someone in with the protesters to make the protesters look bad. Of course, that's the first thing they do. Protesters dispute the claims of authorities, including the report of the alleged shooting. Some news outlets, including the Los Angeles Times, said protesters remained peaceful during Thursday's gathering. So I'm going to go with the LA Times over the lying cops, the guys who get paid to beat the fuck out of protesters, peaceful protesters in America. Those guys, those mouth-breathing, brain-dead thugs who get a kick out of it, that's why they're cops. You wouldn't be out there if you weren't enjoying it. If you're out there, this is horrible, you would leave.
And by the way, the authorities are on the wrong side of this issue.
Always on the wrong side, of course. North Dakota has... And why are all these cops from other states get to go crack? What is this? North Dakota has in turn used the 1996 Emergency Management Assistance Compact, which allows states to send law enforcement and other employees when a governor declares a state of emergency. So the governor declared a state of, now this is what they're doing. So there's a state of emergency.
Well, in fairness, North Dakota is a pretty boring place.
State of emergency, Ron? Peaceful
no, it's
protesters?
Ridiculous. Yeah, no,
that's an emergency. Peaceful protesters.
Absolutely ridiculous.
What was your point?
My point is that the government is deploying people to oppress the protesters. They're barely deploying anybody to go help the people in Detroit with water.
With Flint.
Yes.
Yeah. So what she's saying is, the government snaps into action when you're trying to stop polluting water. We can't have those people not polluting water. But when the water's already polluted and you have lead-poisoned kids, the government is like, we don't know what to do. Who do we beat up? Are there any black people or brown people we can beat the crap out of? That's what we do. We're the government. No, you just need to get clean water there. No ideas. Can't help you. So that's a great point that Steph made. That yes, the government, they can unlimited resources when they have to go stomp on some peaceful protesters at the behest of polluters. But when people are being polluted, no answer, nothing, zip, nothing. We're going to study it. We'll study it for a while. You don't want to send some cops over there to crack the heads of the government officials in Flint? No. You don't want to mace anybody in the government at Flint? You guys don't want to go stun gun or use a water cannon or nothing on the governor who Flint? No.
Put him in a cage.
You want to go put anybody in a cage in Flint in the government and strip search them for poisoning everybody in Flint? No. How about in North Dakota? Oh yeah, we're going to do all those things and more. Anybody tries to get in the way of a corporation, especially a fossil fuel corporation that's being funded by Wall Street, they're going to find out what's coming. A handful of states responded to the call, but at least one Wisconsin sheriff department received pushback from the community and brought it. We did a story on that. We covered that. There's a video on that happening. That sheriff, Wisconsin sheriff's also a liar, lied about the violence of the protesters. We all know the people who are violent at peaceful protests are cops. I'm going to guess the people showing up with clubs, pepper spray, and guns and riot gear would be the ones starting the trouble. The pipeline is yet to receive federal permits to cross the Missouri River. And while Obama administration has asked the company to halt construction within 20 miles of the easement as it reviews the permits, the company has declined the requests. So Barack Obama requested, pretty please. They said, and Barack Obama said, I'm powerless. I'm just the president. We're going to go start a war with Russia. But I can't stop anything happening in North Dakota. But I'm going to go bomb Aleppo. But we can't do anything in North Dakota. My hands are tied.
That's the Clinton Wall Street approach, right? Ask nicely.
Yeah.
Play nicely, guys.
Cut it out.
All right.
Yeah, that's like, come on, cut it out. According to one of the people who were protesting, she said, we were caged in dog kennels, sat on the floor, and we were marked with numbers, said Florence White Bull in a YouTube video. As she wiped tears from her face, she said the cages were placed in the garage at the Morton County Sheriff's Department. Now, I know during Occupy Wall Street in Los Angeles, the cops brought everybody into a parking garage, made them kneel until they passed out. A lot of them defecated on themselves, peed on themselves, and then they sued those cops. By the way, the cops like doing that to people. They get a kick out of it. That's why they're cops. That's why they do that. If it bothered them, they wouldn't do it. They do it because they like it. Get that through your head. Those people who were abused by the cops during Occupy Wall Street in Los Angeles sued. They won $3 million. Guess what happened to those cops? Nothing. Guess what? They're doing it again to anybody they feel like, because they don't have, that money doesn't come out of their pension. That money doesn't come out of their pocket. That money comes out of your pocket. That's why cops are allowed to do this with impunity from coast to coast, and they do it. We live in a police state in America. We're already under surveillance. They already took away habeas corpus. No Trump needed.
Oh, hey, some of those cops might have some consequences. They might have to spend a couple days on paid leave. We don't know.
None of them did. Here is somebody, a Facebook post, somebody with the number on them. My friends and relatives, I'm okay, so to speak. I was arrested yesterday. What I saw, felt, and heard was unreal. I'm proud of my people. We stood together. People did their best to protect one another, unarmed. After we were arrested, we were dehumanized. We were given a number. They trucked us by busloads to Morton County. We were held in dog kennels. There were tarps to cover the two that women were put in. We sat and laid on the cold cement. Standing Rock were the first called out to be shipped out to Fargo. I have so much to say right now, but I just want to let you know I'm okay and we will not stop. There's the numbers they're putting up, people. So that's what the government's doing in your name at the behest. So, again, when you see a cop, thank him. Thank him. Thank him for being hired goons, because that's all they are. And that's all these cops are. And we need a total revolution in policing in America. We need a total revolution in America. Our government's corrupt. These guys are doing this with the blessing of the government. The government is doing this. And Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton pretend like they're freaking powerless. Why? Because they're puppets. They are puppets. Corrupt puppets.